What up? It's Josh from the Cow's Den. Here to do round one, zone 3 of the DC versus Marvel Heroes tournament we got going on right now. So, as you know, mine have been a little more DC leaning. Matt's has been a little more Marvel leaning. I will say, though, right out the gate that this chunk I got came out pretty even. I had 8 matches, and they went 4 and 4. 4 Marvel, 4 DC. So, just a heads up, it's gonna be a bit crazy in here. Yeah, right. Some of these are real easy. Some of them are really challenging. So, without further ado, we have Superman versus the Punisher, and not even gonna comment. Superman wins. Move right along. Hawk Girl versus Iron Man. Now, this one, if you know anything about Hawk Girl, especially the stuff that's been going on recently, like Hawk Girl and Hawkman are reincarnated over and over and over again. Even if they die, they always come back. They just always come back. So it's like, technically she's immortal, technically, but technically she could die. Her body would die, so the fight would be over. Also, her weapon is made of, I never know how to say it, whether it's ninth metal or nth metal, but it's the metal that's kind of made of the multiverse. Like it's a metal that's not from this reality, so it's stronger than anything else. That was my argument for putting her up against Iron Man. Ultimately, though, I feel like Tony would be smart enough and have the strength in his armor to bring to I guess separate Hawk Girl from her weapon, get the weapon away from her, and stop her. I think Tony, it'd be a tough fight. I think she'd mess him up with her mace, with her weapon. But I just think Tony would end up coming out with the W. So I got Iron Man winning that one. Next one is Swamp Thing versus Nightcrawler. And I'm a huge Nightcrawler fan, but even I got to admit, like, teleporting's cool, but dude, Swamp Thing is just a whole nother level in terms of power. He's stronger, he's bigger, he can literally, I mean, all it would take is one vine coming up, catching Nightcrawler, and it was over. Like, I mean, I know technically he could teleport, but it's like, how much teleporting can he do in one little area? That's the whole point. Is this is a confined space, which has caused problems with some of my picks in the past already, because it's like, if you're in a confined space, then it eliminates some of the options. So yeah, I got Swamp Thing winning that one. I think Swamp Thing is just, I love Nightcrawler to death, but I think Swamp Thing is just miles ahead of him in terms of power. Ooh, this was actually a really tough one. The next one is Cyborg versus Ant Man. And man, this is one I went back and forth on. I thought, even if Ant Man shrinks, Cyborg's got the technology. He could track him. He can make sure he knows where he's at. He could, blast him or whatever. But then I kind of wound up looking back at some of the MCU stuff, like in Ant Man, where he takes on Falcon and he shrinks, goes into his armor, and then messes up his armor. And I can't help but feel like he could probably do that with Cyborg. Also, he could shrink, go into Cyborg, and then just grow big. Or he could just grow big, fucking stomp him. Either way, it took some doing. It took some convincing. I was going Cyborg at first because I figured he had alien tech. He'd probably do better to track him. But ultimately, I came out with Ant-Man winning that one. So that's a Marvel win right there for Ant-Man. I'm actually gonna hold off on one of these. I'm gonna do this one last because this was the hardest one. So I'm gonna skip this one for now. So sorry. So next up we got Raven versus Quicksilver, and we're talking Raven from Teen Titans versus Quicksilver from Marvel. I mean, I know we're not supposed to take it from the movies because, come on. I mean, the movies do some things really right and do some things really wrong. I don't think Quicksilver would have been taken out the way he was in the MCU. But that being said, if he can't dodge fucking bullets, what good is he going to be dodging Raven's spells? I also think that Raven is just such a powerful magician. Her powers are just unparalleled in a way. I mean, I don't think it would be very hard for her to just slow him down, do some sort of time altering spell and slow him down and take him out that way. So I got Raven winning that one. This one sucks because I hate the way some of these get paired up. It's just kind of the luck of the draw, you know. I know that Matt's not like intending on pinning each one of these to each other. Just sometimes the luck of the draw, they come out this way. The next one is John Constantine versus Captain America. Whew. Again, big John Constantine fan, and I do think his power capability could hold up really well. Again, if this was in a different situation, if there was prep time, if there was a different location, but just thrown into a room with Captain America, I fought with myself, but I had to give it to Cap. I think Cap ultimately would just take him out. I think his medium powers, the clairvoyance and all that, I think he could use it, but I really think that Captain could take on whatever he throws at him. I really do. I mean, I could do this all day. Again, if you go with the MCU, though, he took on fucking Thanos by his damn self. But again, we don't have to go MCU. I'm talking even just comics. I really think Steve could hold his own against anything John could throw at him. So I got Captain America winning that one. Other one, I believe this one's pretty easy, at least in my opinion. We got Green Lantern versus Luke Cage. I got Green Lantern winning by a landslide. I mean, Luke Cage is exceptionally strong. He's got the like steel type skin. He's got he's kind, I wouldn't say invulnerable, but he's very strong, very hard to hurt. But I mean, it's Green Lantern, dude, and I mean, I just Green Lantern's powers are so otherworldly and over the top. I mean, unless Luke magically found a way to get the ring off of him, I got Green Lantern winning that one. So I'm gonna go back to the hardest fight that I had out of this whole thing. Aquaman versus the Thing from Fantastic Four. Now at first you can sit here and go, hey man, Aquaman would destroy him, but I mean, again, we're talking in a room, we're talking in a confined space, no water in sight, okay, which obviously is Aquaman's thing, but no water in sight. So this would have to be just strictly relying on force, strength, power of both people. Okay, so the way I did it is I actually specifically looked up how strong the Thing is, how strong Aquaman is, and when it came down to the Thing has the power to lift and move up to 100 tons, and Aquaman can do about 60 to 80 tons. Okay, so I think it would be a fight that would last days, weeks even. It would literally come down to who wore out first. That's the way I put it, or that's the way I had to think about it. And it came down to the Thing. I think the Thing would win it, mainly because there is one thing about Aquaman, because the fight would have to wind up taking so damn long. Aquaman has a tendency, if he's out of the water for too long, he dehydrates faster than a normal human. So without water, I don't think he would last. I mean, it may not even last days because of how strong, or because of how quick he would dehydrate. So I think the Thing would outlast him. Not necessarily beat him, but would definitely outlast him. In which case, I mean, I've got two in this thing. I've got two of the Justice League. You got Aquaman and Cyborg both going out in the first round. I know part of this whole thing is for Matt to prove how wildly OP, overpowered Marvel characters are. And I mean, already in the first round, I feel like they are, because it's like they have so many characters that are just so over the top with powers. And this is proving it. Some of the best DC characters out there are going out in the first round. So it's going to be interesting to see. And again, if we stick to my next round, if we go from the winners of this one towards the winners of the next one, again, I don't do tournaments, so I'm not 100% sure how the bracket goes. But let's say we do the winners from this one. It'd be Superman versus Iron Man. Hell of a fight. Gonna be a hell of a fight. Swamp Thing versus Ant Man. Again, gonna be a hell of a fight. The Thing versus Raven. I think the Raven would take that. Captain America versus Green Lantern, which would also be a hell of a fight. So, that said, those are my picks for the week. My picks for the tournament. We've got Superman, Iron Man, Swamp Thing, Ant Man, The Thing, Raven, Captain America, and Green Lantern making it through. So they will be on the next round. Matt, I believe, is going to make the Zone 4 video here next, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for watching. Take it easy.